Hey there, gamers. I'm Isaac, and I'm Aquarius.
And I'm Claire, and I'm an Aquarius.
Hey! And this is Make That Game,
where we pitch the latest,
the greatest
new video game ideas
that won't ever get made. And moving on from that idea really quickly, I'm going to explain what I said because it's
okay.
It's buck wild if you don't know, especially because of what you said. Like, it's a well-known thing, like Aquarius.
It's a star sign. It's
No
an
Man's
astrological
Sky.
sign.
No Man's Sky's latest expedition was called Aquarius. And no, you don't like become Aquarius when you beat like what I said was nonsense.
Right.
But I just couldn't think of anything else.
Right. And I was actually going to say something else, but then when you said that, I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
I think it's fair.
So yeah, I just needed to explain that real quick because I feel like even a No Man's Sky head would listen to that and not realize where I was going. Anyways, what do we do here? We pitch games back and forth. And I'm pitching the bit over to Claire to start.
Okay, great. Well, I cheated because we actually had a listener email in.
You're just going to read a listener's email?
No, because that listener Megana, who we love, listener Megana did not actually write out a game idea. She just liked the phrase, the art of the draw.
The art of the draw.
Yes, and thought that we should make a game around the art of the draw.
Is that an actual phrase? Like, is that a known phrase?
Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
I think so. And she said something at the end of episode 105 made her think of it, and I don't know what that was because I didn't listen to it.
We got to go back and listen to 105.
My guess is, remember when we were talking about like the draw, like the dang, 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 like Western.
Yeah.
That's got to be it.
Right. Okay, there is an art to that draw.
Yeah, but then I was like, well,
there's also art in drawing.
Okay, so wait, here's the game idea. I just got it.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I planned this so well in advance.
Okay, so this wasn't, all right, just to be clear, this wasn't a listener game
idea. It was like a listener game nugget.
Yeah, okay. It's almost like a rapid fire round. Like, right. I'll give you some words, you do the rest.
Is a great example of what you can email us at makethatgamepodcast@gmail.com. There's really no limits except for be nice to us, please. That's really the only limit.
Be nice to us. You can tweet mean things at us because
we never look at X, so
I forgot the password to that account.
And it doesn't matter.
I can't log in.
You actively asked me to stop advertising that we have one, so
yeah.
So I don't think we're up there.
But that's where all the mean messages go.
Yeah. we do actually have Threads. You can actually find us on Threads.
Did we really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I got us a Threads. I was like,
because that's linked to the Instagram.
Yeah.
If you have an Instagram, you have a Threads.
I was posting out on it during GDQ this year.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, anyways, hold on.
Sorry.
Art of the draw.
I got it. I figured it out.
Okay.
It's like a battle. It's like a duel. But
it's not?
Well, it is. But it is a duel. Sorry.
Okay.
It's a duel, but it's a drawing duel. So you have to draw faster than the other person, but it has to be somewhat recognizable.
And who decides recognizable?
An algorithm.
Okay. Okay. All right. We've already stepped. This is a Fantasyland game idea. I don't think even with all the AI, I actually don't know if they can like recognize user input like that.
Yeah. I mean, so there is a game kind of similar to this. Oh, I forget it. It's like an app. I think I played it in college. Because it was like timed Pictionary and your friends could like guess what you were drawing. And it was timed, so a lot of the drawings were really bad. But this is different because you're like racing someone basically.
Okay.
And you're probably drawing the same thing. I don't know. I mean, so another way I imagined it was it could just be like you have to draw your weapon, like physically draw it, and then that's what you fight with.
Okay, wait.
Could that work?
Yes.
Okay.
No, that could absolutely work because you can turn the weapon into like, okay. You add physics to the game, right? And like wind resistance, friction and stuff. So like the size of the weapon like is already simulated, like no matter what it actually looks like. And then based on like the actual physics simulations, this would be a very silly game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I see a way. I don't think I can convey from a programmatic standpoint how I envision it working, but I do envision this. This is something that you could work with, and it would if y'all can hear it,
They can't. I've never picked it up.
Okay. Well, that's sad because it's
Yeah.
also funny
It is
that
funny.
the cat is trying to break in.
Can we just let him in for a little bit? I feel so bad.
He would cause such. Okay. All right. I'm gonna open the door, and if things
just
go
a
bad,
little bit, just so he can see us. Hi. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna come in. He's gonna not care.
okay, he's in.
Folks,
I mean, this also
he was
destroys the
screaming.
sound boost.
I think it'll be
quality.
fine.
All
I
right.
don't think it's too bad. He was screaming and bumping up against the door and just
Yeah.
screaming.
It was so sad.
Okay,
We let him
yeah.
in. But okay. Yes, drawn weapons, like arbitrarily drawn weapons, I completely foresee this happening. And the problem, big air quotes around problem, because it's not actually a problem, because I think it's funny with this kind of stuff. With this kind of thing, someone is going to find like the optimal weapon is like you just draw a very sloppy circle. And somehow that's always going to be like the strongest thing. They'll optimize. Like I could always draw it way faster.
It'll be good. Yeah. So I think it's a multiplayer game. Like you can play online. So each person in the duel is like a real person, and you have a certain time limit to draw your weapon, and then
Okay. That's Art of the Draw.
That's Art of the Draw.
And that is actually a very good name for that game.
So thanks, Meghna, listener Meghna. And if you want to be cool like listener Meghna, you can send us an email at makethatgamepodcast@gmail.com. And Lewis is actually causing trouble, which I did not actually anticipate. I thought he'd get bored immediately of the podcast cave and then leave.
No, he wants us out of here.
Okay, well,
we
he
don't
just
belong
left, so
here.
you can close him out again.
He's going to meow at the door.
Yeah.
When he realizes it's closed again. And we
I just wanted to show him we love him.
Yeah.
So he didn't forget.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my game idea. What's yours?
Okay, my game idea is what if a fishing game, but you are the fish.
Oh my god.
The end. Moving on.
Yeah, I guess that's all we need right now.
Okay. So this is a half-baked idea because the only method I could come up with, like the only like design I could come up with for encouraging the player to like bite the bait is that the bait is a resource that you need in order to advance.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's clever because why else would you?
But like I also don't know how to make that resource that you need to advance like to what goal. And then, like, why are you going after bigger and bigger, like, better fishermen each time? Like, I couldn't figure out, like, the actual, like, end state of the game.
That was a really interesting hand motion.
Yeah,
for
don't
end
worry
state.
about it.
Okay.
Yeah, like I have the idea. It's a funny soundbite, but like, that's it.
Okay,
That's
I mean,
it. I can't come up with anything else. Like,
so
yes,
I
bite the bait. It gives you +1 bait in your inventory, or it gives you +10 experience, but like
I do think that the fact that you were like, no, this is definitely like the player has to bite the hook. That's how it has to be done. Because you could just do it that like there's so like if you like pass by a certain hitbox of the hook, then you're caught. So it's more.
But
like,
then that's just dodging. That's a dodging game.
Okay, so that's not what you want.
No, I want because very specifically it has to be a fishing game, but you're the fish, which means that you have to be from the fish's perspective, fighting against the hook. And if it's just you dodge the hooks, no, there needs to be some kind of incentive for you to bite the hooks.
All right. Well, okay, how about this? What if we combined it with a city? You're a fish mayor. You're a fish city. And the bait is resources for your fish city.
You bring the fish, the bait back to the fish city, and it allows you to improve buildings.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
I like this one.
I'm playing in the space.
Yes, thank you for playing in the space, because I was almost unwilling to. I made the space, and then I was like, I'm locking the door on this one. No. Okay. No. Okay, I like that. You're making a fish utopia. You are purposefully biting hooks to get the bait so that other fish.
Ooh, and you can like, because you're fish mayor, you can like command other fish to like bite hooks, and then you can be responsible for other people's lives, like an army, but
That's
it's for
scary.
resources.
Okay, now we're adding like a Pikmin element.
Okay,
to this.
well,
okay,
anyway,
no, that's.
I'm going
okay,
too big
but
on
actually, we almost. I think we're going. somewhere with this, I don't think that you should. I think you should be the only one that goes after like hooks.
Mm-hmm.
But like there could be like bigger fish and like frogs and stuff that your fish army could deal with that you necessarily don't want to one-on-one.
Yes.
Like in a fight, there's like no way that a one-on-one fish would come out alive against like a shark or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like, okay, some of these soldiers, you know, they're willing to lay down their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But like bait, no. Whatever fish goes for that bait, they're not as smart as you, the mayor fish, so they're just gonna bite it and they're gonna get pulled right up, and then you lose the bait and you lose one of your buddies.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it's a tough world out there for marefish.
This game is buck wild.
It is.
I want there to be boss fights.
Okay.
Too.
I mean, make sure this doesn't just become another Crap's Treasure now.
No. It would not be anything like that. But like I want there to be boss fights that specifically are a like completely different mechanic than anything else in the game. Like the boss fight isn't just like whatever like the anti-fishing mechanic where you're fighting back against the fisherman who's like trying to pull you up. That can be like a part of it, but I want you to have to do like a bunch of other stuff. Kind of like how Arceus, when you were like battling the legendary Pokemon,
they
like force you to do like an outside of battle little thing,
right.
And then you go into battle mode and like actually battle.
Yes,
I want the boss battles to just be like that.
Okay.
He's meowing so much.
Lewis the cat is just screaming.
He does not like Podcast Closet.
I guess
he says it's time to go. Oh, it's outside time.
Oh my gosh, it is.
It's the time that we would normally take him outside.
We picked a bad time to record the podcast.
Oh boy.
Okay, well, we'll just have to keep going and we'll take him out right after.
Well, that's my game idea.
Yeah.
It's it's called A Fishing Game, but you're the fish.
Marefish. Marefish the fish mare. You're the fish now.
What? What are you even talking about?
Because it's like you're playing the marefish.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway. Well, that was a great game and I loved it.
Thank you.
Now it's time for a discussion.
Okay. And the discussion is going to be that I see you've been playing Life is Strange again for the second time.
I have been playing Life is Strange again for the second time.
I mean, I guess we also streamed you doing that, so everyone is aware of it. But
Everybody.
I wanted to ask you, on your second playing, you know, when you first started Life is Strange, when you first did it many years ago, that was like the beginning of your gamer journey.
It really was. It was one of the very first like console games I was playing.
Yeah.
I didn't really know games like that even existed, to be honest, until you plopped it in front of me.
So I think it's quite interesting to talk about now that you are a much more experienced gamer and you've done this podcast about game design for many a year since then. And have you picked up on any, like, okay, have your tastes as a gamer changed? Have you noticed any design things that you didn't notice on your first run? Like, let's talk about the replay.
Yeah, well, first of all, now I'm thinking I should have listened to the episode where I honked and bonked. It would have been really interesting.
That actually, should we pause it and have you do that?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, well, we went on a little like podcast history journey, and we take really bad notes, I guess, because there's like no way for us to know if we ever honked and bonked this. So, listener Meghana, you were once making a Excel spreadsheet of some kind.
I'm pretty sure we didn't honk and bonk it because I swear I write in the show notes when we do honk and bonk. And I don't think that was like a new invention that I realized at some point where I was like, oh, actually, you know, maybe I should write this down. No, but
no, it's just because I don't know, because I think I did Life is Strange too, and it would have come up when we searched Life is Strange.
Maybe the search is bad.
Maybe.
But anyways, we couldn't do the thing that we said.
Listen to me honking and bonking it in the past, so that's too bad. But anyway, I'm going to talk about it now. Yeah. So I guess like it was really cool to come in with a game design eye, and I think it just made me like the game even more, honestly. Like I was like, oh, I still love this. It made me want to play more in this genre, and I was kind of like, why haven't I? Like I loved this game when I played it the first time, and I played all the other Life is Stranges, but there's like other games that are like this that I just didn't even like. It's kind of like how I used to listen to music when I was a kid, where I'd like one song, and then that was the end of the story. Like I wouldn't like.
You wouldn't research like the
no,
genre.
like I wouldn't look at the genre. I wouldn't even look at the artist. Like half the time, I didn't even know who sang it. I mean,
oh wow.
I just would hear it on the radio, and I'm like, I like this song, and then that was it. So that's kind of. I feel like that's how I approached Life is Strange. So I was like,
I've been there before.
I like this series of games, and then I just moved on with my life. But I should have.
I have exactly one Warren Zevon, whatever song on my phone. I bought exactly one song and apparently never pursued that any further.
It happens. But I was just very known for that.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, okay, like what's one thing that you noticed with your new game design eye?
Well, so it's very good. So one thing that I think I actually looked this up the first time I played because I was like frustrated with it, but like that players tend to move from like right to left around a circle. So like that's how you can like easily identify like objects in a game where you're supposed to like find important things. And like the last thing will probably be on the farthest left so that you get through like everything you want.
Oh, just like in grocery stores. Wow.
Yeah. So I was kind of paying attention to that, and that seemed to like bode true, and it also helped me like not miss things. By like staying to the perimeter and like moving in a circle, because like that's kind of like they're planning for the player to do that. So I felt like I was playing 3D chess there. I found the bottles. So there's this part which so funny because apparently it's supposed to be terrible. Finding the bottles is supposed to suck. Did you know that?
No, what?
Yeah. So
why would it supposed to suck?
I don't know, but Life is Strange, the official TikTok account, posts a lot of memes about how like frustrating it is to find the bottles. And, which I didn't notice the first time, when you're in the mind space final level, also, I guess there's going to be spoilers for Life is Strange, the first game. So, like, if you don't want that, now would be the time to skip ahead.
Shut it down.
But in the final chapter, you're like in this creepy mind space, and one of the things you find is a bottle, and you go, I guess this really is hell. Which I think references the fact that it's supposed to be really horrible to find the bottles in the junkyard. And I did have to look up. I was proud of myself because I only had to look up one location for it. And last time I think Isaac had to do 3 of them for me. So that was a growth moment.
So do you think that the bottles were intentionally supposed to be bad, or do you think that they realized it was bad, couldn't think of any way to fix it, and then just like
put a
self-referenced?
Yeah. I don't think so, because I feel like, well, I guess they would have had time because it was like different. They were releasing the episodes slowly.
Actually, that's also a very good point, because by episode 4, they could have had feedback that episode 1 or 2 or whatever, the bottle sequence sucked and everybody hated it.
Yeah, and even if they already had bottles in the final like mind space,
they were like, oh, let's record an extra line.
They could have, yeah. That would have been really funny.
Yeah, because I don't think anybody, except for like very specific art games, I don't think anyone sets out and is like, I want to make this sequence terrible. Like, well,
I mean, there's reasons you could make something, I guess not terrible, but like difficult, right?
Difficult, yeah. But the bottle thing specifically is terrible. Yeah. Right? Like Undertale goes out of its way. There's, spoiler alert for Undertale, there's the pacifist route, the neutral route, and then it's called the genocide route. And the genocide route is specifically supposed to be terrible. Like, you're not supposed to actually genocide. Mm-hmm. And they make the mechanics for doing so, like, tedious,
you've mentioned this
difficult.
Before,
yeah, it's supposed to be terrible because genocide is terrible. It's a terrible thing, and you're not supposed to do it. And the fact that gamers do go all the way through and do all of it, no matter how tedious and horrible and purposefully terribly designed it is, says something about gamer psychology.
Yeah.
And that's, I would classify that as like art thing, like arty idea.
Yes. And I mean, there's arty ideas in here. So I think like on the first playthrough, and again, this was one of my first like console games. This was one of the first like games I don't want to say first games I played, because we know I was a Flash gamer. I was a sim player.
Gorillas.
Right? But there wasn't a lot of like this kind of like choice-based story game. I'd never played that before. And I was really stressed. The choices really, really stressed me out the first time because I didn't really understand. And now that I'm more used to playing video games with choice, and also like I already played it once, I was kind of a little more flippant. Like, I'm like, who cares? I'm just going to choose what I want. I'm going to be silly goofy. I'm going to have fun, you know? And that was fun. But yeah, game design wise, they just did, it's really clever. Like they have a lot of visual cues to help you figure out like what you should be doing kind of. So like if you learn a new piece of dialogue that you can rewind and use, it shows you like a little icon for that. Or if you learn a new piece of dialogue that you don't need to rewind, but you can still use it. If you talk to someone again, it has like another icon for that.
2 different icons. Ooh.
And then if you make a choice that will have some kind of impact in the future, there'll be a little butterfly. That's not like, there's the major choices, which are all very obvious, but like minor choices have little butterflies. I do think it's funny though, like I was also doing a lot more reading of like playthroughs and kind of like more information like that this time around because I didn't need to worry about being spoiled. And I thought it was interesting that like I lost my train of thought. Now I'm having wicked deja vu. But because we did talk about this, I think, briefly, but that like some of the things that it changes are super minor. Like it's just like your plant will be alive or dead, right? So it's like but like the butterfly, the first time I played was like I was like so tense about it.
Yeah. Oh no, a butterfly! Time to rewind. Oh geez.
Yeah. Oh my god, I was writing so many more choices the first time I played. There's a good moment too. So there's a couple things where if you remember something from previous episodes of the game, you can get into like a locked door. That happens 2 times. But what they do for that is if you don't remember, there's always another way to do it. So I think that's really smart too. So it's like you get a little reward for remembering, but you also you're not doing real math is what I'm going to be. That's what I'm going to use as the analogy for like when you have to.
Okay. There's not calculus going on.
Right. Like when you have to actually do actions to play a video game outside of the video game, I guess that's what I'm going to call real math. So you didn't have to do any real math. But if you did the real math, you kind of got a reward for that. Which is kind of cool.
Now, one thing that I remember you mentioning that I don't know if you've forgotten about or changed your mind on it, but it seems like there's, at least in the beginning, there's some choices that you can't do on your first time. Like even even if you like figure it out, you have to trigger something in order.
And that's a little annoying, I guess, but it's a little annoying once you get like to later levels, I think. So a good example would be like there's one thing where you have to like knock a can of paint over and you have to figure out how to do it. And you can't actually like tamper with the paint can until you see you see someone use it. Then you have to rewind in order for the option to tamper with it to come up.
Yeah, that's
so there's a lot of those things. So you have to like mess up first, rewind, and then you have more options.
It's like a player versus character separation going on.
Yeah.
It's like their answer to what about metagaming is, well, we'll explicitly deny it.
Right.
Like your character has to figure it out in order for you figuring it out to matter.
I mean, it was like annoying to me only because I had just played chapter 1 and then on stream, and then I actually had to replay it because it turned out we only had chapter 1 on Steam.
Oopies.
So I played it on the PlayStation because we already had all of them on there. But so I had to replay the first chapter because I wanted all my choices to go through, you know. And so that was annoying. But I do think it's actually good game design because because this is a story game, and yes, your choices matter, but obviously it's a story, right? Certain things have to happen, but also there's not a ton of like action. Like you're walking around and you're looking at stuff. That's it. So if you weren't rewinding ever, like if you're just solving the problems all the time, that's really boring.
Oh, so you think that it's in there to force the rewind?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I guess it is.
Like it's forcing you to like try to like rewind and like there's things too where like rewind tricks come back. So for example, in one episode, you have to like you explode a door, you get into a room, and then you rewind while you're still in the room. So then you can like unlock the door from the inside before exploding it.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the final episode, you have to rescue someone, and you basically do the exact same thing where you like actually kill this person by turning off sprinklers, go into the room, rewind till back when they're alive, and then take them out of the room safely. So
wait
like
a second.
It mimics the trick, so you're kind of learning as you go.
Yeah. Oh shoot! I had a thought. I wanted to ask a question, and now I've lost it. Mm-hmm. What was the first example that you said?
You blow up a door, you get into the room, and then you rewind.
This is not related to game design, but like, what does the other person? What do you think they experience? Because like,
they don't experience anything.
No, but
we know that because Chloe is part of this all the time. Like she gets rewound constantly. She dies like 3 times in the game.
But like there is a certain point where in like the timeline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Max is outside the door.
Yeah.
Then Max at the same time is now inside the door. What happens to the Max outside the door?
Oh, well, so in this example, Max wasn't necessarily outside the door at that time.
Okay.
So I don't know what the answer would be in.
Because there's like a point in the timeline where Max necessarily has to have teleported.
Yeah, I think that's just what happens then. I think it's just like, how'd you get over there?
Okay. All right. I'll accept that. I'm pretty
sure.
I hope the new Life is Strange explores this concept.
I don't know. I don't think she's gonna have the same power in this one.
But that's her power.
Yeah, but they've basically shown that in the trailers that she's not gonna.
But that's her power. You can't. Okay. Well, I'm not even gonna begin. That's a different discussion topic.
I can't wait to
We've
play
talked
that,
about
though.
sequels, and without having actually played the sequel, that would be very frustrating for me.
They have to up the stakes.
You can do that without changing the power.
All right. Well, let's hold
on.
our judgments till we actually play the game. Come on.
All right.
Anyway, I guess I also I don't know. I guess I didn't realize how many story through lines there were because I was so stressed about choices. But like the fact that like you save Chloe's life so many times, and then like at the they really build you up for that terrible choice at the end. So. For those who haven't played and are still listening and don't care about getting spoilers, the very end is you get to choose to save your town from the tornado by going back in time and letting Chloe die. Or you don't do that. You let the town get destroyed by the tornado and you ride off with Chloe into the sunset. And the way they make this really hard is, one, you've spent most of the game trying to save Chloe's life, and she literally dies on screen 3 times that you have to fix for.
Wow.
But
Only
also,
3.
Yeah, but also... right before like that you make these decisions, like I mean you're also helping everyone else, and right before the storm, like as it's coming in, you help save like literally like 3 to 5 people of the town. Like you physically save them. You see like all your friends' family, you see your friends. They like really hammer it home like how like it's like remember who lives here and who's gonna die. Like there's even a scene in the mind space where you're walking through the diner and it's like everyone's like, well, guess I'll never like live again thanks to you or whatever. It's like very hard. But then they also do a replay of you and Chloe's relationship throughout the game and like all your like key moments. And then they're like, okay,
Amazing.
now pick.
Amazing.
Because they really want. So I mean, it's both story design and game design because obviously that creates a compelling story. But it's also like if they didn't do things like that, if they made it very, I don't know, just like pick A or B, then what's the point, right? Like this kind of game only works if you're conflicted. That's part of the fun.
Oh, yeah. And so you're saying that they did good design to make the player feel conflicted.
And I always pick Chloe. I could even though I picked Chloe the first time, I couldn't not pick her the second. I was like, no.
Wow.
I got to.
Chloe alone. This is the worst trolley problem ever.
I mean, I guess part of the reason I pick it and the part of the reason I picked it the first time is more just like the idea of going back in time and almost erasing everything you've done, right? Because you have to go back to the very beginning of the game. I mean, not the game, but like where you start the game.
Yeah.
And that feels worse to me than like moving forward.
Okay. Realistically, what they should do is if you make that choice, you should be forced to then play through the entire game without using your powers.
Well, but there wouldn't be like a much game though, because like Chloe would die, and then you would just kind of like go on.
No, it would be a memory test because you would have to remember like what like situations that you want to avoid.
No, but like not the same things don't happen. So basically, like because I looked up what the ending would be because I just was curious, but I didn't want to choose it, so I looked it up. And basically, literally, all that happens is Chloe dies. Then, like the plot of like the creepy man is like immediately revealed because since Nathan killed Chloe, he's like heavily investigated, and then it's over, and they get arrested, and then it's done. Like there's literally like nothing happens.
Okay, but like
none of the same things happen.
That feels cheap because I feel like if you do it that way, like you could still save Chloe. because you know that she's going to be in the bathroom at the time. And if you're just sitting there washing your hands when
Actually,
Chloe
that's a
and
really
Nate
good
walks
point.
in,
You don't have to use your power to stop that.
no, you don't. That's
Oh,
why I'm baffled.
no.
That's why I assumed
no.
that that's not what
You've
happened.
gotten a huge plot hole. Oh no, because you could
do the entire
you could do
game.
both.
Yeah.
You could save Chloe and avoid the storm.
Unless, headcanon, Chloe is the source of the storm.
That's Isaac's theory, and I like it.
Knowing what you just said,
Yeah.
knowing that Chloe dies because if you undo it, and it's not just like both things are true, you don't use your powers and Chloe dies. I think that more strongly points towards Chloe being the source of the storm, because it doesn't make any sense that she has to die in that timeline, because you know that she's going to die. You can stop that without using the time powers and then just
and that
move
makes
on.
Because one thing that frustrated me about it, it's just the storm is about Max's power like overuse, is because she has a vision of the storm before she's ever used her rewind power. And so either that's supposed to be her like seeing a prophecy, which she doesn't do at all ever again, like that's the only prophecy then, or like it was going to happen already. You know, like, right, like she was seeing the real future, like it was already going to happen.
Yep.
Anyway, that's just speculation, but that's what makes it a good game. There's so much to think about and so much to do, and I really loved it, and it's great, and I like the pacing. And one funny mechanic that I think I've talked about before is like you can sit and like contemplate life.
Yeah.
In the game. So if you
have you ever used that?
Yeah.
Like for real?
What do you mean for real?
Like, have you actually like sat through like the entirety of like a sitting down sequence?
The first time I played, I did a lot of that because I thought I had to.
Oh.
I did. I did almost all of them, and then I was like, "Oh, this is just like flavor. I should stop."
Okay, this is just recap. Okay.
But the one time I did do it this time. So basically, what happens, folks, is you'll see a chair or like a bench or a stool, and you'll sit. It'll say "sit" as a choice, and if you pick that, music starts, and you start to pan over the scenery, and you're like, "Wowzer, what a predicament I'm in. But the sun sure is beautiful tonight. I can't wait to figure out how to solve this. I hope we can. Life's tough out there." And then if you just stay there, it'll just keep panning. Like once the dialogue's done, it'll just keep panning and until you like stand up.
When you edit this together, I know it's going to be more effort than usual, but can you find some kind of like soulful yearning, like acoustic, like license free, like
Life is
music,
strange, esque
to put over you doing that? Because primo bit.
Yeah. Did I do a good job? Did I say
you did?
Okay.
You did. Yeah.
But the funniest part, and I know we're getting on time, so I'll stop soon. But the funniest part was I was in the mind space, and it did so much better in the mind space this time. So one thing that I've definitely gotten better at in gaming is just like the physical controls of it and kind of like working out patterns, I think, in gameplay. Where when I first played this, I was pretty new at those two things, is like patterns recognition and just using a controller. I mean, this was like literally the first PlayStation game I ever played, so that was a challenge. And there's the Mindspace game is all like stealth, and so I don't know. I got so stuck on it the first time. This time I like did really well. I was really proud of myself. But there is a bench halfway through, and yes, while you're being hunted in your Mindspace, you can sit down and contemplate life. And I did, and it was really funny. Wowzer.
Wow.
Yeah, you say, "You are taking a break right now. Things are really stressful. It's important to rest," or something like that. It was like really funny. Anyway, I love the game. I'm so excited for Life is Strange Double Exposure, which comes out October 29th. That's probably why I was thinking of the 29th.
Oh, that could be it. Yeah.
We're going to stream everyone. We'll just do it now before. So if you tune out for the rapid fire round, you still know we're going to do our live stream for October on Sunday, the 27th, 11:30 Eastern. And
speaking of the rapid fire round, let's do that.
Let's do that. So the rapid fire round is where we generate 3 random words. We come up with a game idea based on those 3 words, and we come up with a name, and we do it all in 5 minutes or less. Okay. Ready?
Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Coat, torch, dough. We've had so many dough games.
Yeah, dough is a favored word of this generator.
DOUGH, by the way, not DOE or.
Yeah. Okay. Coat, torch, dough.
I mean, coat and torch make me think of like old timey times, right? Like you're running through in your big coat with the torch running through
like
town.
a Victorian era.
Yeah.
Okay. Victorian, London. All right. So, all right.
What if you have to like deliver bread to like the front lines?
Oh, okay. All right.
Sorry, I know you're going somewhere. I had that idea.
Bread to the front lines. Okay. Hit me with the front lines part. Like, let's dive into that.
So the front lines of a war, I guess.
Okay, which
The Revolutionary War.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It's called. No, I was trying to come up with a Paul Revere bread pun, and it just didn't happen. I was like pain Revere, because that's bread in French.
Okay. Well, what? Well. All right. So.
Benjamin Franklin.
Okay. Listen. You're getting. Wait. Needing fathers. No. Proofing your worth.
Proving your worth. Yes. Yeah, so it's like a management game. You have to manage making the bread, you know?
Okay,
and
so you make there's a
two
phase.
Yeah, there's two phases.
You make a bread.
Yeah. And then you run to the front lines.
You run to the front line. Now, do you dodge enemy patrols or do you just dodge obstacles?
Oh, it's stealth.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's a stealth based. So you've got to do it fast and stealthy.
Yeah.
To deliver the bread to your noble soldiers.
Yes.
To prove your worth as a baker.
Yes.
The end. All right, that's
the
2 minutes and 15 seconds left.
I feel like we could have come up with better breads though, but proof your worth is pretty good.
I think proof your worth is extremely good.
I like Benjamin Franklin personally.
That's one of the characters in the game.
Obviously.
Yeah, all of the actual Revolutionary War characters have some kind of bread-based pun instead. But that might be the only one we can think of. Like, what's Thomas Jefferson gonna
get back to us? We'll do some thinking. All right. Ready for the next
words.
one? Yeah.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Introduction, hostility, relate. Isaac was so mad at introduction because you don't want it to be a talkie game.
It's always a talkie game.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be, but hostility and relate, those 3 words are talkie game words.
Okay, what if it's about related people, like family?
Okay.
And the introduction is that there's a really robust tutorial.
No, wait. Hold on.
Okay.
No. Wait. No, that's still a talkie game. Crap. Okay,
well,
I had an idea, but
it can be a talkie game.
Do you know it's like a famous, I don't know if it's a real story or whatever, there was 2 Appalachian family clans or something. Is Appalachian how you pronounce it? Is Appalachian? Anyways, there's 2 clans and they're feuding and it's like the McFields and something else. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Isn't that a TV show?
Is it? I don't know. It could be.
The McCoys?
The McCoys, the Finns and the McCoys?
Definitely not that.
No. But, okay. But people know what I'm talking about. And...
The Hatfield and McCoy feud.
Yes. Okay, the Hatfields and McCoys.
And it looks like it's real.
Okay, so that's real. All right. So that kind of situation, but you are the mediator. So the relate is it's families. You specifically resolve hostilities between families.
Yeah.
And the way that you mediate is you go in, you talk to everyone, you figure out who would be the most amiable to initiate friendly relations between the feuding clans, and then you introduce those 2 to each other.
Okay,
and so you sort of so Romeo and Juliet isn't exactly this, but I'm sure there are stories of 2 kids from rival societies or clans or whatever become friends, and then that opens it up. That's at least a common cartoon story.
Omashu.
You can't just say Omashu. What?
Oma and Shu. They were from warding tribes from across the mountain. They fell in love in the tunnel. Secret tunnel.
Yes,
Secret
exactly.
tunnel.
And then yes, okay. Sorry, I thought you were like trying to relate it to the ball game story in the Canyon episode that we skipped in our most recent rewatch.
No.
The Great Divide, everybody hates it. Anyways, that's too much Avatar talk. But okay, so that's but then yeah, that is just a talkie game and it's nebulous, like the exact mechanics of like how you figure who's the best.
I mean,
Except
I think we
for
can
by,
do
like,
I think we can
interviewing
do
with
this. Yes.
them.
So like let's do it. It's like interview questions and it's like you see like bars of things.
Wait, okay.
And then you,
you
like-
have a limited number of questions.
And then you find the people whose like response bar matches the most of the other person.
Yes. Okay. So it's like a memory kind of. So you have a limited number of questions, and then you have to like remember like which ones are the closest, introduce them, and then you get money from the mayor if
The fish man.
you're
No,
successful.
sorry. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then that allows you to move on to bigger, feutier jobs.
I love it. All right, we have to come up with a name for
Family
it.
Feud.
No, I knew
Family's
you were gonna
Feud.
Family's Feud.
Family Feuds. Hatcoys and McFields.
Okay. We're getting warmer. How much time do we have left?
55 seconds, NBD.
55 burgers. Okay. I like Hatcoys and McFields.
Okay, Hatcoys and McFields.
Yeah. All right. Final.
It's not their real name, so we don't owe them licensing.
I don't think we would anyway because they were alive in the 1800s. Okay.
Hey, they probably still have living relations.
I guess, but laws back then were wild. Are you ready for our final
Yeah.
three words?
I'm going to start the timer in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Circle, urgency, and cycle.
Okay, circle and cycle are the same word.
I feel like this could be like a puzzle game, maybe?
So circle and cycle are basically the same word.
No. Yes and no.
Urgency.
Cycle is repeating. Circle is a circle.
That's okay. That's
like
true.
they're related words, I'll say.
All right. I'm completely distracted by the cat.
Yeah. Okay, Lewis, what's the game? Oh, yeah?
I wonder if that one picked up because he's in the room.
I will
now.
try to boost it as much as I can, but I don't know. Usually the microphones are actually too good. So, okay, well, Lewis plays a game bapping the balls in a circle, right? Can we do anything with that?
Okay. Cycle is like laps.
Yes.
You have to bap the balls.
You play as a cat. It's a silly game.
Okay. Bapping.
It's VR.
A knit ball.
Yes.
A yarn ball back and forth.
You're a VR cat. You have to bop a ball back and forth. You're timed, so you have to see how many cycles you can get in an amount of time.
Yeah.
And
okay.
it's silly. Does that work?
Yes.
All right.
But what's it called? It's called?
Perfect day. The perfect day. The perfect day.
No, I can't. It has to be about racing or like some kind of time. Like
okay, all right.
We
all
gotta
right,
include
all
that
right,
in the
all
name.
right.
People gotta know.
Yeah. Okay. Before the humans come home. Because you got to finish your game before the humans come home, because they'll stop you because you're making a mess.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, you're saying no to quite a lot.
Yeah.
Why don't you come up with a name?
That just it.
Why don't you come up with a name now? Your turn.
Okay. Yarn bowl. At least implies it's a sport.
I guess. Although, isn't a yarn bowl a thing?
Tour de yarn.
Tour de yarn. Love it.
There we go. Tour
de yarn, and it's like, the house can be like different. Like each level could be a different like room of the house, and
a different track around.
Yeah, and you just race.
Oh no, I think every level is like a different house.
Oh,
and so it has a different layout, and
Yeah.
you got to go through different rooms. Like the track is actually the different rooms, and there's like the optimal path, but obviously like you'll like hit the yarn ball off into the toy section or something, and that'll be like the sand pits and like a golf course kind of thing. Because I imagine this kind of like a mechanics very similar to like a golfing game almost, with the bapping around.
Yeah.
But
you're kind of running to
with a race.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So 1 minute and 29 seconds
Tour to
left.
yarn.
Tour to yarn.
All right. Well, like I said earlier, we're going to stream live in October. Our October stream is on the 27th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. It is a Sunday. Usually we're Saturday, so just keep that in mind. Because I know you always put it on your calendar, listeners.
Yes. Yes, we do.
And,
I'm a listener.
You can also find us on the web. You can email us at makethatgamepodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on social media at makethatgamepod. And you can visit us at makethatgame.com. It's a great website. We love it so much. You can find us on most podcast apps. And would love a rating or review if you're so inclined. Please give us a 5-star review on Spotify and or Apple. And word of mouth is great. So make sure you tell your gamer friends about this wonderful gaming podcast. And if you heard a game today that you're like, I just have to play that game, then we encourage you to get out there and actually make that game.